What if my wounds are also my gifts? What if writing and storytelling is where my real expression shines? What if everything I've been exhaustingly trying to fix are actually my greatest strengths? While the rest of the world flaps their gums, often not actually saying anything of value, I now know that I have a gift of expressing in a way that is true to me.
Imagine discovering a pathway that cuts through the noise of trying to heal, to instead offer you a clear, revolutionary initiation into your most connected, abundant, loved, and purpose-filled self. A place where your dreams transform into personal reality. I'm Allura Halliwell, founder of the Consciousness Method, and it's with deep gratitude that I connect with beautiful souls who have already experienced this transformative method firsthand. They'll share how it has profoundly changed their lives and led them into inner truth. Hello, Kylie. I'm so happy to have you on the Consciousness Method podcast.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
This is going to be a beautiful conversation because you and I have been knowing each other for a long time, but have been working together, a couple of years ago and then touching in here and there. So I'm really excited just to share your beautiful journey of transformation and realization and awareness. And I suppose also like the truth of this path, the truth of our personal development, that it's not just like butterflies and
No.
it's like a journey. So I can't wait to dive in with you. So maybe for everyone listening, do you want to just share a little bit around, I suppose, your background and where you were at when we started to kind of dive in together?
Totally. Okay. I'll just share something too, because it just aligns with like that wounding for me. Like even before I logged on this morning, my wounding was like, oh my God, I need to start rehearsing everything I'm going to say. And I said at the start of the week when we caught up, I'm not doing that anymore. And I'm like, Kylie, stop. Let's write down a few points. No, we're just going to. So I just wanted to share that. And we've got to have a laugh at ourselves, right? I've just been taking a piss out of myself all morning going, Kylie, you're talking to Allura right now. You just had your conversation. Yes, I just wanted to share that just to, lighten things for me a little bit.
I love that. The preparation, right?
I know.
The awareness. But I love that you're already like prefacing it, that it's like, oh, there is my wound. Hello, you're here. I'm wanting to pre-plan all this to be there. But you're like, actually, no, I'm just going to go for it. So
and just how you do that ability to have a laugh at ourselves too and not take shit too seriously, because I don't like to say healing journey, but the healing journey, I think we've been conditioned to think that it's all like, because you said, peace, love, and mung beans, as my yoga trainer says. And it's not like, sometimes we've just got to laugh at ourselves, and that really helps me. So thank you. You told me that.
Great.
So yeah, I started, I think I did the mentorship with you about 3 years ago. I think I was one of the OGs, the original gangster. So yeah, at that point in time, there was a lot of change starting to happen. I think I'd been sort of connecting with you a little bit on the socials, and it was sort of right in the midst of, dare I say, the COVID shitstorm that we're all going through. And what I've been seeing through that time with the lockdowns and everything, I really utilized that time to start tapping into getting to know myself better. And, I started meditating, and I guess because getting into those spiritual practices like journaling. And so what I found when I was doing all that before we connected, it was a really nice way for me to start to get to know my triggers and, where I was coming from with those wounds and getting to know myself better. But what I found was it wasn't really shifting anything. Like really helpful during that time, but I was finding, okay, well, what those practices did for me, it helped me get used to sitting with myself and going, wow, okay, there's so much stuff here that needs to be dealt with. Yeah, and then we connected. And then I feel like the work that I did with you, it's almost like, I think I heard Amanda say on her episode that those practices prepped her for this deep work. And I feel like that's kind of what it did for me as well. Because if I hadn't have done all those other things, I wouldn't have really understood that you got to sort your shit out, Kyle. Like, get to the bottom of it. So, yeah, so at that time, I think there'd been a lot of uncertainty around my job. I was working for the state government at the time. Wasn't sure if I was going to be allowed to go back to work or if I'd be moving roles or what was happening. And yeah, so I started the mentorship with you. And yeah, I think not long after that, we had the suicide in the family. My partner, Tristan's dad, took his own life, which was very tragic. And then following that, there was just a lot of chaos happening internally and externally. So it was a perfect time for me to connect with you and start that deep journey. Yeah, and it's just sort of flowed on from there. Like I think I went on retreat, and then I've been to a couple of your workshops, and yeah, just kept connecting with the community on WhatsApp. Yeah, so it has been a long journey, and as you say, it's not easy. Oh, I feel like I've had like 50,000 different personalities over the last 3 years, Allura, but yeah, they've sort of lessened now. So yeah.
Yeah, because when we kind of went into that space, there was so much that you were really meeting very truthfully and honestly within yourself and within the patterning and within your design of what you were experiencing, and drawing a lot from your childhood and seeing the fractals that were happening in real time, and really just being really front row to the whole show of your life, really, and seeing things from a very clear place. And you're right, that sense of like, oh, the practices are beautiful and supportive, but they're not really touching the depths of that. And then when we began, we really worked, I suppose, quite intensively with the wounding aspect. How does the concept of the core wounds and the understanding of those energetic patterns, and that they're not actually us being wounded and broken, but they're just a design function of reality, how has that helped you to kind of get a different angle on what you may have just accepted as, oh, this is just me and this is where I'm stuck in things?
Yeah. No, that's great. So it's helped me understand, well, as I always say, I'm hashtag unknown wound. It's like, without connecting to a label, I'm like, yep, that's me. But yeah, it really helped me understand myself better, because I did for so long, and I'll be honest, still now I get sucked into that. I'm broken. Why aren't I fixed yet? Like, I still go into those little patterns, but it's not as often now. And I feel like when I do go into that state, it's almost like I witness it from the outside. Like, I'm looking at it go, and I have a laugh and go, oh, this is happening again. Like, but for me, it's been around, that fear of being misunderstood. I think that's where a lot of that wounding comes from. And as you say, it does heavily involved in my childhood. There's actually something I wanted to share with you about that, Allura, because I probably mentioned I love storytelling, and I feel like I explain myself better when I tell a bit of a story. So with that, so I'm going off on tangents here. I've only got half an hour. I could probably talk for 2. I just finished a beautiful short story workshop that I did with Rose at Heart Writing, and I've just realized, since doing this work with you and really tapping into that pain portal, I've actually started to realize I'm starting to see my wound as a gift. Okay. So I've sort of, there's a little bit of a pondering that I wrote, and I'd love to share it. So
love to hear.
So it was around seeing an obstacle. The biggest obstacle that had come up in my life recently, or for a long time, was self-doubt, self-sabotage. I was sabotaging myself from opportunities, and seeing that as a protective measure to stop me from full expression of myself, because that would mean being seen, being heard, being understood. But then my biggest desire is freedom of expression. So, like, paradoxically, my biggest desire is my biggest fear, right? So it's like this loop. Yeah. So this is what I wrote. There's been a light shine on the conditioning and wounding of my entire life. My fear of expression has come from a childhood of choosing silence for safety. From the first time I was told, I wish you were never born, I thought to my 6-year-old self, it's safer to not be seen. For the first time I was physically abused for being so loud, practicing for a Goldilocks play, I told myself it's safer to stay quiet. For the first time I was coached by a caregiver on what to say when authorities came to visit, it's safer to bottle up what's really on my mind. I've gained incredible wisdom and growth in recent years, though parts of this healing also turned into an obsession. Pushing myself to be vocal when my nervous system was still fragile, judging myself because I'm not as loud and proud and vibrant as everyone else, doing all the courses and all the things to fix my broken voice, and feeling like a downright alien because I see things so differently. It all wore me out. A light bulb went off, however, unsurprisingly, in the stillness of simply being silent and present. I realized that my fears, while deeply rooted in childhood wounds, might also point to something deeper, a reflection of who I really am. What if that quiet, observing child is my true nature? What if my wounds are also my gifts? What if writing and storytelling is where my real expression shines? What if everything I've been exhaustingly trying to fix are actually my greatest strengths? While the rest of the world flaps their gums, often not actually saying anything of value, I now know that I have a gift of expressing in a way that is true to me. And I just finished with a little quote by Carl Jung, who I absolutely admire. There is only one way, and that is your way. I'm like, yeah. So that just sums up my experience with you. Oh, yeah. And even just reading that, I'm just like, oh my God, like, yeah. I was telling myself before, don't cry, people are going to see you crying, but I'm like, I don't give a shit. Yeah. So that just sums up, all this work that I've done with you. And as I said, we worked together closely, it was 3 years ago now, but it's like, even when I get stuck in that matrix mode, which we all do, like this stuff doesn't just change overnight. But it's like now all that really deep work that I did with you and continue to do on my own it's in my DNA now. It's like I go, oh, that's right. I haven't sat with that pain, or I haven't given myself a chance to feel what's behind that fear. So it's ingrained in me. Sometimes I just need to remind myself of that. But the fact that I have taken on this writing course, like for so many years, I kept doing things just because other people were doing them, or because I thought, oh, this will get me a better job, or this will get me to a 6-figure income, and then I can prove myself. And I'm like, I'm not a bloody public servant. What was I doing? Yeah. So that just really sums up my experience. And I'm glad, something this morning said, oh, there's that piece that you wrote a few months back. Read, yeah.
I'm so deeply honored to hear that, Kylie, to receive that, because the frequency in that is everything. Like, you are the embodiment of the journey through that wound to your wholeness. And that is exactly what the wounding is. It's not that we're faulty or broken. It's actually that is where we find the truth of ourselves, and the complete reconfiguration that you've done and you continue to do is so deeply valuable. And that message and that knowing that you are able to shine that incredible consciousness on yourself and then express in such as a gift really to humanity, in that, like, the frequency of that is so high. I just feel so honored to receive that. And
welcome. You're so welcome. I value you so much. You know this, but yeah, I just and it's even like in the work that I'm doing, in the mentoring that I'm doing with children and teenagers, this whole, and it's like nothing wrong with being a loud and proud person, but what I'm finding a lot of, Allura, is I'm getting these children coming to me who are quiet, who are those observing kids, and they think there's something wrong with them, because they're shy. And it's like, that's awesome because you're seeing things, as a kid, like, as I said, my connection to story, that wasn't escapism for me. But now I'm tapping back into those fairy tales, the folk tales, the archetypes, the characters. And, as much as I'll sit here and say, like, I don't like what happened to me as a child is not okay. And I'm not putting this toxic positive spin on it. I'm not all about this bypassing of, oh, just forgive and, move on. But what I've found is that wounding of not feeling safe to speak, it actually pushed me to go and tap into my imagination and to get lost in these big worlds of stories, and like these little awards behind me, as you can see. So when I was doing my writing course with Rose, I found all these awards from when I was in kindergarten to year 2 or 3, and it's all about creative writing. Kylie's writing these tall tales. She comes to school and tells these tall tales. And so I've just put them up now because I'm like, well, that's how I express. I tell stories, and yeah, and I'm trying to get that through to the young kids that I'm working with as well, that sometimes it's not just about giving people our opinion and this is what I think and this is where I stand with certain views. And sometimes telling a story can actually be so much more connective than just blasting people with information. And yeah, like how much of my childhood, I remember sitting back with my pop. He's my biggest mentor. He died when I was 12, but we would just sit there and read and write, and I'd research the dictionary and get him to explain big words. And yeah, so I've really connected with that a lot in the last couple of years. And Tristan will say, my boyfriend, he'll say, I've just got this knack of I can see someone once and I see all of them. Like I never forget a face. I'm just so observant. And even my good friends, they'll come to me and ask me about memories and go, oh, this happened, 20 years ago. Was it like this? No, this wasn't happened. And you were wearing that and we were eating this. And I wouldn't have that if I was just flapping my gums all the time,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
This is just such a profound expression that you're sharing, Kylie, because your wound has become your purpose, your medicine. It has become your truth. It has become the light in your life. And the fact that you're shining that now with young people and guiding them to have their unique voice and their unique silence is just the mastery of this duality of being in the wounding and the wholeness and in the separation and then the expansion and connection. I just can feel that light in you is so beautiful from your consistent awareness of the truth. And it hasn't been an illusion anymore for you. It's like a really deep truth that is blossoming in you that's beyond that pain and that fear and that limitation. I just think it's really deeply profound. And I'm just curious, have you there's some parts of the work that we did around like stretching your nervous system and moving through fear and those places. Did that kind of impact on any level for you?
Oh, totally. That's a lot. I was thinking of something this morning. As you know, I'm a very reflective person. And again, that can be to my detriment as well. I can often get caught in that analyzing myself so much. And I think that does come back to how much information's out there now. I feel like we're doing a bit of a 360 with that. But one thing I've found is I had a big fear around security. Not so much. I mean, I wouldn't say I've never really been overly materialistic, but I've always had this bit of a fear around having secure housing, having enough money, that's where the whole I've got to earn a 6-figure income at a government job to prove that I can look after myself. So much of my adult life, or even my childhood, a protective thing was, you are all you have. So you just have to look after yourself. Okay. Don't let anyone else help. Save others before yourself. And that almost turned into a bit of that martyr archetype where I was just constantly people pleasing, but not actually taking accountability for the role that I was playing. And one thing I found is that I've actually been able to loosen that grip on security. And I'm in this beautiful relationship with my partner, and I've been able to allow him to support me, and not saying I've sort of dropped back. And I often joke that he's been a bit of a sugar daddy for me over the years. Not that I'm older than him, so it doesn't make sense. But when I went into starting my own business, taking a $50,000 pay cut after I let go of my government job, he like things had to shuffle, and I had this real fear around, oh my goodness, like it's not going to be equal, and Tristan's going to have to put more money in, and there was this real fear. But you know, even the last 12 months, it's just settled, and it's like, well, stop thinking about, because what used to go through my mind was, oh, well, if you were on your own, then you'd have to do this. It's like, yeah, but you're not, Kylie. You have someone secure, a beautiful man that's like just so lovely, who I love so much, that actually doesn't give a shit if you're earning all this money, and he's supporting you, which he has been, to go on these big adventures and to do all these courses and start a business. And and it's not, I don't have that fear anymore. I don't have that fear that, oh my God, I'm not contributing enough, because I am in other ways. And yeah, so that's been something that's really changed for me. And that came from my childhood too, because there were so many times that I would get home from school and there'd be an eviction notice on the door. And I'm like, wow, where are we living? Where are we going to be living today? And just having that uncertainty that then, filtered into my adult life. It was even, I think it was last year when we were about to sign our lease, I laughed at myself. I'm like, oh my God, it's 8 weeks until our lease is renewed. What if we're going to get into it? It's just like, it's all right. We'll be fine. But now I just go, oh, it is, it's fine. I'm safe. And yeah, just allowing myself to be supported, and not knowing that it doesn't have to be tit for tat all the time. So that's been a big thing, where I've stretched my nervous system to say, hey, it's okay. And it's okay to say to people, I need some help or I need support. I'm not having a good day, so can you please support me if you've got capacity to? Yeah. So that's been a big thing for me.
That's a huge thing, because that really enforced independence and survival mode actually does shut down our realities. So then we feel trapped in jobs we don't like, or feeling insecure and unsafe wherever we are. And this expansion that you're speaking of into the truth of what's there to support you and hold you and give you that next level to be able to thrive for yourself. And then it's all just a beautiful loop, right? It's like thrive, and then the whole experience is growing and evolving and changing, instead of being limited and stuck and restricted. So I feel like you've just
even just talking about it, I'm like, wow, you've actually done well. We need that reminder sometimes, don't we? Yeah. And another thing I realized too, I've had a couple of friends comment on it. I have just been saying no to things that I don't enjoy, or I don't want to do. And not so much as I'm quite aware that we often still need to do things we're not that keen on for whatever reason. But if I don't want to go to a social event, I won't. If I'm like, oh, I'm not really keen on that, I just say no. And I'm getting better at not over explaining myself in certain areas. But that area, if I say no, I don't go into explaining anymore. Just say, I'm not really interested in that. Wow. And I realized so many things that I used to do, I do them because, again, that fear of being misunderstood. If I say no, that person is going to think A, B, and C. And then I go into that wound space. Now it's like, no, I don't want to do that. And you know what? Most people are fine with it. They're like, okay. And those, there's definitely been connections, like friendships and connections that I've had with people that have dropped off over the last few years, and I've just let it go. Like it's 10 years ago, I would have been really caught up in that. Oh my God, like I'm not connected with that person anymore. What have I done? But things change, and and I've had other relationships and friendships that have become so much more solid, since doing this work as well. So Yeah, it's been a big thing.
Because your inner boundaries and your connection to your alignment and your truth and who you are and what you need is primary now, which
Yeah.
that deep level honoring that really can't be argued with on any level. It's just an alignment now. It's like if there's alignment that you're with people that are also honoring themselves, it's completely expected that you'll say no when you're not in this place to say yes. So I feel like that reconfiguration is huge.
Yeah,
To be honest, like everything you've done from your purpose work to how you're making, an income, to your creativity, to your expression, to your partnership, to your friendships, the whole thing, honey, you've had a complete reorientation of your whole life.
So it's only a lot to like the last few years, I think like globally there's so much stuff happening, and and that's how I see it too. One thing I've learned from you, Allura, is that quite often chaos precedes order. It's like the shit starts hitting the fan, and I know we all go, oh my God, like why is this happening? But I've really learnt like it's not fun and I don't get a kick out of it, but just again stepping away and being the witness going, oh, okay, it's speeding up. Like I said to you at the start of the week, I'm like, there's a shift happening and it's like painful and it's uncomfortable. Um, but yeah, that's just what happens. It's happened through history with Mother Nature and Earth. Like there's, things speed up, and yeah, and I've learned to just sit with the chaos a little bit easier rather than trying to control it, which has been something really beautiful that I took from our work together. Yeah, so much that I took from you, but that I always see, and I say it to friends, who are like, oh, just lead into the chaos, and they're like, what? You mean? Yeah,
saying, but you're right. The unknown, right? That relationship with the unknown gets more and more potent, and then you're like, wow, what can come out of this? The potential is so much greater than when we control it. So I honor you and love that you're anchoring into yourself, your own knowing, your own being, your own truth, and this is just being supportive to arrive to that. And so thank you so much for your wisdom, your work, your journey, and I just can't wait to see all the beautiful things you create with a purpose that you're so clear in. It's just been an absolute honor to be a part of your journey.
Thank you. I adore you, and I just, I even when I try and explain to people about this work, it's really I can't put it into words. It's a feeling, it's a knowing. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't be where I am now. I wouldn't have been able to get through so many painful situations over the last few years if I hadn't actually connected with you and learned to sit with pain and learning to sit with pain but not letting it take over, like transmuting it into something more productive, which I think we can get stuck in that spot too with our with a bit of the hijacking of the spiritual community. It's like we've got to just continuously sit in this pain, and then that's when we start looping, right? I've seen that myself. And yeah, one thing I'm really tapping into is just like learning to have a laugh again, because I am a bit of a character. I've got a weird sense of humor, sometimes inappropriate, but I'm like, sometimes you just need to laugh and shake it off and go, stop taking life so seriously. And I've taken myself way too seriously so much. I'm like, Coles, just tap out, babe. Have a laugh again.
Be inspired to do more of that. Just take things less seriously and enjoy the experience of being a human, being alive, having gift of life, and having a laugh while we do it. I love that. That's inspiring for me too.
Oh, thank you. This is awesome.
So fun. Thank you so much, darling.
Appreciate it.
Have a beautiful day.
Okay. Much love, Allura.
Much love. Bye.
It's been an absolute pleasure to spend this time with you, and to say thank you, I'd like to share with you 3 beautiful meditations to explore your core wounding and a collection of masterclasses. You'll find these in your show notes. And if you feel the synergy to this path, know that it is available to you also.